Hello and welcome to Reaching the Summit on Business RadioX. We're broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio in the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. My name is Teresa Conklin. My co-host Don Conklin is unable to be with us today. Every month on Reaching the Summit, you'll meet successful business leaders who have climbed the mountain and reached the summit in their profession. We'll talk to them about their journey, the challenges they faced, and the lessons and insights they may have learned along the way. Reaching the Summit is presented by Pinnacle Custom Signs. Get a more elevated look with your business signage. Visit pinnaclecustomsigns.com. Today I'd like to welcome Bobby and Matt Moeck of Nexstar Communications. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to have you with us today.
Appreciate you having us.
Could you tell us a little bit about the history of Nexstar?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start it out. Back in 1998, basically, two gentlemen came from Motorola and asked me if I would help possibly open up a store. And I ran Target stores at that time. And what I did then, I said, sure, I think I can do that, since opening Target stores and opening a cell phone company. Bill Crowley and Dan Hooper is actually who it was. Joined hands with them. We opened up Nextel in Snellville on Britt's place. From there, we started growing. We ended up opening up Gainesville, Lawrenceville, and to the day, then we went up to about 40 stores over the 10 years. I've been nationally ranked as one of the best retailers, and now we are switching up from Sprint to T-Mobile through the merger, and that's kind of how we're at today.
Very cool. What's it like working together? Matt is Bobby's son. What's it like working father and son together?
It's great. So it has good days and challenge days, but the good thing is I'm always learning from him, still learning from him. Learned a lot over the years, and like I said, we do have other family members that work within the business. But I like to say I started out as a janitor when I was bad. He'd take me up when we had our first two locations, cleaning toilets, and then picking up cigarette butts outside our Snellville 1 location.
That's where I went wrong.
Yeah,
we didn't do that with our sons.
And then, we used to, you can't do this now, but back in the day, I'd work in the back and unbox the phones, these Nextel phones, and you could rip off the sticker, and we replaced them with Nexstar. And the whole reason actually why we were called Nexstar is because back in the day when they had the phone book, what was next to Nextel was Nexstar. Okay. So for the ends. So you can't really do that anymore. But from there, just worked on and off as hourly sales rep and just kind of worked through the ranks and kind of here where we are.
Yeah, it's very different how we do business these days versus the days of the phone book.
Oh, yeah.
We started our business 9 years ago, and some of the people, we work with a bunch of other sign companies across the country. And some of them started back in those days, and they talk about how different the world of marketing is from then, with the phone book, that everybody worried about the name so that they'd be placed higher. So how long have you been in business?
We just had our 20th anniversary as far as Nexstar.
Okay.
So, but we started like a year before that.
Okay.
In 21. So, and then I have 4 children. Well, we have 4 kids, and add to what he was saying, 3 of them are in the business. And
wonderful.
And one of them is a photographer. So she's doing her own thing. So that's exciting. But it's
as well our brother-in-law as well.
Oh yeah, our brother-in-law too.
And then the mom does marketing.
That's a good job.
Yeah,
somebody's got to do it.
That's right.
So I feel very blessed. I mean, I talk about this. It's really an honor to be able to have a family and still working with the business, because you really do get to. I'm a spiritual person at the same time, and I believe God puts people in our paths and to take time to grow and minister and just be with the kids. And I'm fortunate. I get to see the kids probably almost every day. So I think that's very, very important.
Yeah. Well, it helps with the family unity. And you have how many stores now?
Well, we had 30.
Okay.
And through the recent virus and all what's going on, we dropped down to 20.
Okay.
So and they're all located throughout Georgia.
Okay.
And we're very fortunate to have those.
Yeah, one of the things they did, and they closed some corporate T-Mobile stores, they closed some corporate Sprint stores, they closed some dealers Sprint stores, some dealer T-Mobile. If they were like right on top of each other,
right?
We knew there was going to be some haircut that was going to happen. So their focus, though, going forward is be ready to open up in rural areas, because it's good. A given. Most of the times now in urban areas, you expect to have a cell phone signal. But the one area that's a challenge is how do we get 5G into the sticks? How do we get 5G into these rural areas? So they said, look, we're not going to be dropping stores in these big city areas and urbans, because it's like a Starbucks. You see these locations on every corner in the major areas. So rural areas where we're really focused on expanding and continuing to grow that as far as our locations.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. So not only did you have COVID going on, you had that merger going on. That
I said, look, I was very impressed. I was like, if we can get through COVID and a merger, I said, Lord,
you can do anything.
We actually, it's been almost 2 years to the day, that we started this with the merger. And it's been probably one of the, as far as I'm concerned, it's been one of my challenging, most biggest challenge as far as leadership, and how to keep the momentum and keep the whole process through the whole thing. And I had great staff, great team, great family. Everybody, and T-Mobile and Sprint both have been exceptionally good to work with as we're going through this.
Is there a difference in the culture between those two companies?
My feeling is that we both started out in the same direction. I think that T-Mobile has done a phenomenal job on customer service and spirit, being the non-carrier per se. So we went from Sprint, which was probably got so regimental on some of the processes because of what we're going through, which was kind of self-understanding, to where we're now with T-Mobile, which is just, and Matt will tell you he loves it because he gets to go crazy out there.
Very high energy company. I fit in great before.
Young and hip.
Yeah. As you can see.
Your bright pink shirt.
But their culture, one of the biggest differentiators that I picked up right from the beginning was they are customer obsessed, customer first.
Exactly.
Drop everything. And what's interesting is there's never been a carrier they are currently ranked number one in wireless customer service over Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint. Sprint was actually last. And so this was an opportunity for us. And there's never been a carrier that was number one in customer service, number one in best value, and number one in best network.
Wow.
And so that's kind of the three pillars that they're going after with, no matter what, customer first, and then the results will follow. So that's been a big, very high energy, very can-do. Their brand is their baby. Their turnover is very minimal. Their people are happy to be there. And, it's been a very warm, refreshing transition so far.
So I think you've already talked a little bit about how T-Mobile is different. But what about Nexstar? Is there a different culture within Nexstar? Or is it basically all kind of married into the carrier that you're working with?
Yeah, the customer first thing, I think that's also something we try to do is be different. I think if I could, with online and everything else, what are you doing to be different? It's your people. Doing that wow experience, one of the things they mentioned is magenta glove service. So again, delivering that extra mile, going, why would that customer drive an additional 15 miles and pass 3 stores? Oh, it's because they want to see Elsie. We move employees in certain locations, and these customers will literally drive past other locations to go there. So I think delivering that different experience, not just being robotic. I joked around one time, and I was like, I picked this up from, I think it was Jack, but he said, wouldn't it be awesome that if a robot, when customers came in, they just go to the back, and then they grab a phone, and then they purchase it, and then guess what? They walk out the door, and it was all artificial intelligence. And employees are like, no, because, then, of course, your job. And I said, well, great, that's why we have you. People, you got to be different. Otherwise, I could just put vending machines in the locations, and people could do it
Brings
that way.
out a good point as to how much customer touch.
Which is why I think even T-Mobile is so adamant about it, because in the next 5 to 10 years, with online and everything else in robotics, a difference is going to be customer service.
Absolutely.
That is going to be the number one difference of why I should not go online or why I should not go here or get this through this way.
Yeah, that's one of the things in our business. We make sure that we have a live person answer the phone and answer it by the third ring, because we want people to know we're there and we care.
Well, because if you give an average experience, you're just going to be like average. Think of it this way. That's why try to get the guy, follow-up is one of the biggest things. When's the last time you bought a product and you got an actual follow-up call a week later?
Not very often.
You don't.
Right.
So the bar is set already so low that if I can get my guys to do what everybody else refuses to do, then I'm going to stand out and be different to my customer.
I love that. Love that.
See, one thing I believe is that one of my big things about leadership is everything rises and falls on leadership.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be adaptable to change, and whether or not, like I explained earlier, we went through 3 different carriers as far as different events, from AirTouch to Voice Stream to all these different ones. And it's so important that the attitude and the leadership that we do, we learn how to adapt, and we move forward in a positive mental attitude, and we keep our focus on that, and we keep driving on that, because that's going to be the biggest thing in our change that's going to make us successful as we continue to do that. Is how we lead, how we grow, and how we make that happen. And get on the bus with T-Mobile. Sprint's gone. It's the mindset.
Yeah, that's why the rearview mirror is a lot smaller than the windshield, right? What are some of the challenges you faced along the way, and what lessons did you learn from those challenges?
Interesting. I would say that the biggest challenge at first I was just starting to commit how to start planning for the future and how we were going to make sure this all works out. First I had to take the mindset, that this is where we're going, this is the change, and how it's going to make it happen. Second thing was getting the team, your inner circle team behind you, making sure that they're all part of the process, and then again start adapting to change. What really happened though, we had a good job. We did a good job pulling all of the managers together, having meetings, and really communicating and over communicating. And then the virus came, which then all of a sudden, Zoom comes to be the most important thing. And how we communicate now through that is even more important, because they don't have that warm touch, or they don't get that one-on-one with you. So we've had to adapt to that a little bit more, and it's been one of our challenges to get to. But I guess the other thing is I didn't know how big of a drain. My attitude has been, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, get in there and make it happen. Right. And 2 years is a good span there. That's a big push. So
do you attribute some of your success to that mindset?
Yes, I really do, because I think as a leader, who I am, I think it's important that I set the example too up front. And we're together on this.
And to give credit to the guys in the team and our managers, everybody from the front lines in there, to see what they have accomplished over 2 years. And hey, look, you're in a limbo of we know Sprint's going away, there's a merger coming, and them still fighting every day in and day out and doing what they did. Tip of that to them, as far as they did a phenomenal job, and especially fighting through all that. And then now, like I said, it's like I tell the guys, I can't wait to see what we can do with a brand behind T-Mobile and what they're doing, because it is very unique how they talk about the customer service, number one, and their mindset is they're all about the front lines. They're put the front lines first, and then your customer will be first. And it makes sense why their turnover is so low and their people are so happy, that if I have a happy individual and a happy employee and I'm taking care of my frontline people, they're going to take care of my customers. Versus if they're not happy, they're going to get a half-happy experience. Right. So it is a very interesting concept, how they're customer first, frontline first, and then the rest will follow. So it's a really cool kind of way to look at it, if you will.
So what sets you apart from other either Sprint and now T-Mobile sellers or retail stores?
I still go back to the fact of leadership. Okay, and I'm not saying I have a lot of my peers that we're really good friends, but many years ago I bought into John Maxwell, who's my mentor and a good dear friend and leader. I met him over 20 years ago, and his foundation, the 21 Laws and everything else, is something that I've really believed in, and we teach that to all our employees. We go over that, and it's something that we've done and taken it to that level. And that's helped us through the times of trials and tribulations, and helped us in other times. Matt also has a gentleman that he works with also that's a highly motivated speaker and the salesmanship. And
yeah, so it's kind of unique. We joke around about it because Bobby's I don't want to say the Moses, but you know what I'm saying, everyone looks like. So it's I think having the concept of the leadership and the salesmanship. So like a guy that I actually follow as one of my mentors is Grant Cardone. Mm-hmm. And so he's very much of a high energy sales guy. And then, Maxwell, we implement the leadership process, which is important because you need both. You can't be high end on either, or you need both. So like we try to mesh, on this high energy crazy guy running around, and then we try to focus on both the leadership, investing and influencing our people, and at the same time let's have high energy, no negativity, positivity, and kind of that can-do attitude.
Wow, sounds great. So like you guys, Pinnacle Custom Signs is a family-owned and operated business. Mm-hmm. As we talked, I have two of my sons work with us. One leads up the sales organization, and then the other is more on the operational side. Are there any challenges or lessons that you've learned working with family that would help other family-owned businesses?
It's almost, I've been married 41 years, I guess, I think.
Congratulations.
And it reminds me of the same question. How do you stay married that long and then kind of do the whole thing? And one of the things I think that I say a lot is laugh often. Mm-hmm. Just kind of smile and laugh. You let things roll off you a little bit differently, just like in a relationship, being married 40 years. Right. I laugh often, I don't take it personal, and it's kind of one of those things that it makes me smile a lot. I feel very blessed, like I said earlier, to be able to have the family and to be able to do that, and to be a role model. When you look back and we look at our ancestors, and you look back, and one day they're going to look back. I believe in ledgering. I'm a big fan of that. I don't believe in diary. I believe in ledgering. Ledgering means events and things that may have changed, and things that you did, and how you made your thought process that I plan to pass on. And to as we went through these different trials and tribulations, what was my mindset? What was my thoughts? What was the things you're going through at 5 in the morning, or 4 in the morning, or 3 in the morning? Thinking your way through this, and how you're going to make it through this, and then through a lot of prayer, a lot of just really meditate. That's one of the things I would say, and I talk to my team about it. One of the most important things you can do is have quiet time. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so important. Reevaluating the day before, reevaluate people that come in your life, reevaluate events that came in your life, write it down, think about it, meditate through it, and it gives you an action plan.
Okay.
And I really believe that with all my heart, because that's where lives are changed. Mm-hmm. And I feel that.
I like that.
Yeah, and I would say as far as like advice for I have another guy that's a mentor of mine, Teddy Russell and Bill Russell, who own Russell Landscape, and they're a father-son business. He's 10 years ahead of me, or as far as age-wise, and he recently took over his dad's business. But we'll have lunch every now and then, and I'll hit him with different questions, and it's the same kind of things that we run into. You also got to be able to separate the business from actually family also. Yeah. Like not talk. Sometimes it's hard not to talk about it at Christmas table conversations. It's hard not to bring it up every time. And so it's like making sure that, hey, look, let's hit pause for a second, even though we know it may still come up. So I think that, and then just being on the same page that, there's good days and bad days. There's some days that we want to maybe kill each other and not like each other. But at the same time, we know where our common goal is, and we all know that we got each other's back.
Yeah, I think that makes the
other
difference.
Cool thing.
Yeah.
Is that, I joke around, hey, I can say this about my brother, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah. All right,
well, isn't that always the way it is?
Yeah.
So what's the future for you and Nexstar?
It's going to be really interesting. T-Mobile is kind of setting the path right now. We're going through different things like that. I don't feel like I'm 65, but I'm at that age that definitely I'm looking at what is the exit, how is that going to happen, and how do we see that. I'm working with a couple. I believe in having inner circles. I have men that have in a circle 20 years ago. I have men that I'm in a circle even now with different faith or whatever it may be, and listening to them and growing with them. How do we walk through this? What are the thought processes that go into this? It's not something I believe in rushing through, but it's. And the other thing I understand, this is not a career; it's a calling. Mm-hmm. And so what I've been doing now is, I think you didn't know this, but I coached at Brookwood for 25 years, and just recently have I stepped back from that and moved forward in another direction. But again, knowing that this is a calling, I may stay in this business forever, as far as that goes. But I truly believe that
Dan Cathy, right?
Yeah, like Cathy.
He still comes in every day.
Yeah, but that's kind of my mindset, and as long as I'm needed and that's where I need to be, I'll be there. So I'm very open to what's happening here.
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting to see the next 5 years of what we've been told is how 5G rolls out.
Right.
They're big on 5G for all, and they want to be number one in 5G. And with our platform, we are set up very pretty. Once we flip these switches, I think it's going to take at least another 12, 24 months to come full circle with everybody. But what's exciting is we're very excited on this wild, crazy ride going forward, because I call it leapfrog, and I'm not just saying this because I work for T-Mobile, is what's going to happen is when T-Mobile lights this switch, we're going to have a run there where no one's going to as far as spectrum's concerned.
Right.
You can just look at the facts and the data. The others will catch up, but there'll be a good little opportunity there that, our CEO, Mike, for T-Mobile said, hey, look, we will be bigger than Verizon. We will be bigger than AT&T, but we will never become them. And that was really a cool point.
That's a good point.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like everyone strives, I want to take out the big guy, but you know what? We're not going to become them. When we're dominant, we're still going to put our customers first.
That's wonderful.
And I think that's a cool thing to look forward to as we continue to go into this new world of 5G. And like I said, the rural areas is really big. So that's where we're focused on our growth as far as going forward.
And so is that where you're going to start?
Well, I mean, that's all going to be, that probably, like I said, the whole 5G rollout, that's going to take some time even in the rural areas. We got to get the 4G in these rural areas.
You got to get the network in place. Yeah.
Right.
So how has the cell phone industry changed since you've started this?
Oh my gosh. When I started the company, and this is what's so weird about it, I did not own a cell phone. I had a beeper, okay? And my wife was pregnant with twins, and when we got 911 on the beeper, it meant
move.
And it was so funny. And then when we had our first cell phone, it was only for emergency only.
Right.
I kept it in the glove compartment. But the problem was, every time I needed it for emergency, it was dead because I forgot that it wasn't charging.
No, I had one of those bag phones and kept it plugged in.
Yeah. So I lost my track. What was the question?
How's the industry changed?
Yes.
Oh, how has the industry changed? It's changed in warp speeds. And I really, truly believe that, Tim Cook and Apple, I hats off to him. I think, he's a genius of a man. And the direction that they're going toward health, I think is huge. I think that, you have certain groups going off a different direction over here, but he is very intense on health. And as we grow older, I think it's going to be very, very important. I think it's going to be part of our, just like me having an Apple Watch on right now. I'm looking at my steps. I'm looking at my, heart rate. I'm looking at, just different things like that. I really see that happening. Okay. And it's going to be a major part of our business and in our lives,
Yeah, and what's been really cool, as far as change, I mean, you guys think about it. Like when 3G was around, the companies that 4G created, Uber was not around without 4G.
Okay.
Instagram, not around with 4G. The data couldn't handle it. Snapchat, I could go on. 5G is supposed to be 10 times faster than 4G. So if you just think of the businesses that are, the Elon Musk are in the back rooms right now, licking their chops and all coming up with ideas, because there's going to be multi-billion companies created overnight just because of 5G technology. And I think that's something cool and exciting, whether it's robotics, whether it's healthcare, autonomous vehicles, drones, the whole thing's it's going to ignite once this 5G.
So you don't think there'll be a lag? Because I remember when like 3 and 4G came out, there was always a lag between the time where people start, where those types of phones became more.
Yeah, probably, because a lot of us are careful right now. We're not touting, we have the number one 5G or whatever.
Right.
T-Mobile's starting to, but that's because they joined up with us. But I think people are being very careful because we're all trying to grow this 5G space.
Okay.
And you don't want to come and say, hey, look, we lit up 5G, and they're like, this is terrible. What's the difference?
Right.
So I'm sure
because usually adoption takes a little bit of time.
That's why I say like 12 to 24 months.
Okay.
I would say that until it comes full circle.
Okay.
And we're seeing autonomous vehicles take over Uber, or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked a lot about culture, and we have a set of core values at our company. We talked a little bit about that before the show. We talked. Some of them are pride of workmanship through attention to detail. We want to make sure that we produce the best products. Providing excellent service, again, positive attitude. We talked about Tigger and Eeyore. When we try to hire people, we try to look for people that are really, really positive and aren't Debbie Downers, because basically they'll pull down the whole organization. We also like having fun being part of a team. Are there similar core values that you guys operate by?
Yeah, I would say so. As far as that goes, the honesty and integrity. I still go back to when we look at our values. It's most of our values are faith driven, and I truly believe that with all my heart. So we have our values up there, what we believe in our faith, and then we also have certain criteria when you go from there into where we stand on salesmanship, where we stand on leadership, and where we stand on management. Because all three of those are very important in our industry,
right?
And how we manage each one of those. We teach that because even when we're talking to our team, it's important they understand they could be a great salesman person, but management may not be their thing,
right?
Or maybe leadership may not be the thing. And so we kind of coach that and we create that culture because we're not a reservoir. Okay, we're a river. And we understand that you may be with us a long time, you may not. But while you're here, we're going to try and teach you everything we can and give you that chance to continue to grow. That's my culture, to wanting to do that and give you the opportunity. So I'm a firm believer in that. And I'm also a firm believer, just the family values and how we take care of that and go forward.
And I think if you to his point, hire the right people, then coach the culture. The same people we're looking for are looking for us.
Okay.
Like attracts like. So if I'm a crazy,
absolutely right.
They're going to be like, hey, look, I'm attracted to that.
Right.
Like it's oil and water. Negative people do not like positive people. Positive people don't like negative
absolutely.
people. So, one of the things that, especially in the culture, is like I'm trying to high energy, rah, 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 let's change some lives today. Just get them all jacked up, get them hyped up. But, the positive, mental attitude is something he talks about a lot. 100%. But, that high energy, that can do. And, hey, the quote I try to use is, hey, look, you may not be here forever, but while you're here, be all in. When's the last time, if you give 50% in this, then you're going to get a 50% outcome. So let's be all in together, and let's be all on the team.
I like that.
And that's kind of the example.
I like that a whole lot. So how do people contact you and your business? How do they, they don't obviously go to any T-Mobile store.
Yeah. So you can find us on Facebook at Nexstar Communications. We're also on Instagram at Nexstar Communications.
Okay.
Twitter at Nexstar Communications, and then LinkedIn, Nexstar Communications. And then our website is nxtstr.com.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Or you can hit up any of us on social. We'll direct you in the right.
That's wonderful. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for coming in today.
Thank you for doing this.
And thank you for joining us on Reaching the Summit, presented by Pinnacle Custom Signs. Get a more prominent look with your business signage, and to see how we can help you and your business reach the summit, visit us on our website at pinnaclecustomsigns.com or on any of our social media channels. Remember that you can enjoy any of our episodes at any time by visiting businessradiox.com, selecting the Gwinnett Studio, and then clicking on Reaching the Summit. You can also find us on Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast applications. Until next time, for Pinnacle Custom Signs, I'm Teresa Conklin, and for Don Conklin, you've been listening to Reaching the Summit on Business Radio X. Hope you all have a great day.